this wonderful Manchester City side. Yesterday, they pulverised Manchester United 4-0 in this big derby game, watched by 63,000, biggest crowd of the day at Main Road. Commentator is Gerald Sinstadt, and the pictures come from Granada. Manchester City are in the lighter shirts.
Doyle. Moore coming to challenge him. Summerby. Lee in the penalty area, and Bell, and Young, and Bowyer. And a fine effort! Doyle, Oakes. Lee. Not sure who's ticking off who there. Tony Book with the free kick. Law. Vardo. Ball back onside. Neil Young. And it's there! Neil Young! 1-0. 1 minute plus injury time to go to the interval. 1-0 Manchester City lead. Kick's got to be taken again, I think, because Mr. Hill was talking to George Best on the edge of the penalty area when the kick was taken. Just as well for United he was too, because Francis Lee was absolutely flattened in the box. Ure, but not clean away. Bell. What a kick! Lee! But I think the goal may have been disallowed, has it? No, it's half-time. The whistle had gone, presumably before that ball went in the net. City players arguing as they come off, but I suspect that Mr. Hill's decision is no goal. Lee coming across to ask. Well, we'll check during the interval. Very difficult to say what the score is at half-time. All I can say to you is that it's either 1 or 2-0 to Manchester City.
In fact, it was 1-0 at half-time, but Manchester City added 3 more in the second half.
Kidd. Tony Dunn. Kidd again. Dunn staying up there. And cut out very well by Alan Oakes. Chance for City to break. Bell on his right. It's 4 against 3. Burns has come back to make the 4th one. Bell. And it's there. Fine goal by Bell. Minutes of the second half gone, and Colin Bell scores Manchester City's 50th goal of the season. 30 now in the league, 9 in the Cup Winners' Cup, and 11 in the League Cup. Colin Bell's personal total now 13. Situation that arose then when Tony Dunn went upfield and left City with a 4 against 3 situation. Foul given against Dunn. Summerby. Lee in the middle. Bowyer. Own goal. An own goal by Sadler. Charlton. Bell for City. Ure comes to meet him, changes his mind. Summerby going out up the right there. There's the pass for him, but Tony Dunn, I think, will beat him to it. Gets the throw in. Stepney. 2 minutes to go now. Accidental handball by Lee. Neil Young. From that same angle. And it's a good one. Lee, no. William. Bell the scorer. Colin Bell.
So that was a scoreline that at least must have cheered up half of Manchester. Some really devastating football there from Manchester City.
He can! John Hollins! Oh, what a beautiful goal!
Now let's turn, though, from that to a little more action from yesterday. And in fact, we go to the north, to Main Road, for Manchester City, who really are in tremendous form at the moment. They were at home to Everton yesterday, where the commentator was Gerald Sinstadt, and the pictures come from Granada.
Connor to Jeffries. Jeffries pushing it through for Donachie. Needs a good cross now. And that's a useful one, but Rankin can only push it away. Doyle! Doyle, a beautiful goal! And Doyle shaping to take the throw in, but Young takes it, and Lee has made something of this. Lovely run. Hill must score, and he's got it. It's indirect. Neil Young to take it. Bell getting up at the far post, drops to Doyle, won't be able to turn on it, so he gives it up to Hill. Makes the space and puts over a beautiful cross for Bell, and boom!
And that was the final score, 3-0. What a marvellous header back, though, by Colin Bell for that third goal. Bell, in fact, who was carried off with a leg injury in the very last minute of the game.
Charlie George, who can hit him. Oh, a great goal! Charlie George!
Now let's take up some more action, and we pick up, in fact, that very impressive Manchester City side. Yesterday they were at home to Southampton up at Main Road, where the commentator's Gerald Sinstadt. The pictures come from Granada Television, and Southampton, they're the team wearing the striped shirts.
Popular player on away grounds. Davis up together, and Davis wins. Somerby. Lee out on the right. Nobody on the left. Bell moving left now. O'Neill challenging Somerby. And Somerby winning the battle very conclusively. And that was a fine shot from Somerby. The real late outswinger. Davis trying to outwit McGrath, and the referee has decided that it was McGrath who was coming into Davis's back. That is now one of the most difficult of decisions for a referee to make, whether the forward is backing into the defender or whether the defender is crowding into the shoulders of the attacker. This time the decision goes to City. Summerby takes the kick and McGrath heads it away. Doyle. Shannon coming back to cover his cross. Over it goes for Bell. And Lee! What a magnificent goal by Francis Lee. Doyle's cross nodded down onto Francis Lee's right foot. And that's goal number 10 of the season for Francis Lee. 13 and a half minutes gone. Manchester City lead by 1-0. Byrne to Hollywood. Left it too long. Davis took it off his toe. This is Summerby. Lee square of him. Summerby for Bell. And a great goal by Bell. Colin Bell's 5th goal of the season, all begun by Wyn Davis winning the ball after Southampton held on to it too long. And when the cross came back from the right, Colin Bell finished the move off with the most lethal shot you could wish to see. Weller's throw to Donachie. Doyle. Summerby, a good header. Good control by Jeffries. No foul, says the referee, but it certainly looked as though that challenge from O'Neill did enough to put Jeffries off balance. He might well have scored but for that challenge. And there's a beautiful play by Lee and a quite blatant foul by Hollywood. And that really is the pocket where he keeps his notebook. And Dennis Hollywood is now in a very delicate situation indeed. He has a 5-week suspended sentence hanging over his head until November, and that's his 2nd booking. Kirkup. That was off Kirkup, so it'll be City's throw. Donachie taking it intelligently and quickly. Summerby. Bell is available. Summerby's cross. And that looked very much as though McGrath was holding down Wyn Davis. Jeffries! Good save by Martin.
City playing beautifully and more trouble for Southampton in the second half.
Stokes. With Jenkins. Jeffries. Jenkins wins it back. O'Neill. It was a bad pass. Kirkup. Payne. Fisher. Colin Bell for Manchester City. Lee. Mellor. Summerby free, wide out on the right. Played short for Lee. Wyn Davis. Bell now making a run to the near post. City just rolling the ball around, waiting their moment to strike. Mellor. Wyn Davis. So easy! Manchester City took so long there that I suspect that the Southampton defence must virtually have fallen asleep, because when they eventually made their move, Mellor just strolled up to them, slipped the ball through to Wyn Davis, and Davis poked it underneath Martin, who seemed to be slow going down, and that now is Manchester City's 3rd goal. They lead by 3-0. Corrigan coming for this and punching well. Payne complaining that he was bowled over. Mellor. Book. challenge for Southampton to Fisher. 20 minutes of the second half gone. Payne. Bell playing one for Wyn Davies to chase, and Kirkup is lagging. Wyn Davies, beautiful control there when it was needed. Mellor tried the shot when he might well have given it back to Davies, but the effect is the same. Davies, a good cross for Somerby. Spree to Lee! That's the bar! The whole
Well, I should think anyone who's got money on Manchester City to win something this season must be pretty well pleased. The astonishing thing I thought there was only 27,000 at Main Road there. It does seem that some of the good folk in Manchester don't know when they're onto a good thing. But I'm sure also that a lot of you have got your pens poised already to say, but surely that first Manchester City goal came after the ball had gone out of play, that in fact the ball was over the line when Mike Doyle crossed it for Francis Lee to score. Well, let's have a look at that one again.
Well, just let's remember the law. It is that the whole of the ball should be over the whole of the touchline, and I think when you know that law, you'll realise that the ball was in. The whole of the ball doesn't run over the whole of the touchline before Doyle puts his foot there and stops it in the nick of time. And although there's an appeal, I think the Southampton player realises that it wasn't quite out too. But let's look now at what Wyn Davies, the power that he's adding for Manchester City. See that shove there? The two of them hit each other, and it wasn't Davies that bounced off. And Francis Lee is benefiting from that kind of challenge in the area to score goals like that.
So, once again, the referee and the linesman were right. More action coming up now, and great action it is too, between Manchester City and Norwich City. Really to answer two questions. Are City as bad as their early season form suggests? And what sort of impact will Norwich City make in the First Division? The commentator is Gerald Sinstadt. The pictures come from Granada, and this is Manchester City on the attack.
To give Jeffries the touchline. Somerby. Two men in the middle. Davies going in, and it's come out to Lee, and he's poked it in. Nearly 14 minutes into their third game of the season, Manchester City get their first goal from this cross by Somerby, with Davies harassing Keelan so he can only palm it out. Davies for Somerby. Lee hooked out for Towers and timed into his path to perfection. And Lee back in there again. An awkward one for him to hit, and he didn't quite get the power on it that he would have liked, but a fine move. Booth's free kick, looking for Davis's head, doesn't find it, but City get a free kick as Duncan Forbes pushed Wyn Davies in the back. Ball will have to go back somewhere about by the penalty spot, because the arc there absolutely gives the distance. Semicircle drawn 10 yards from the penalty spot. Lee. And a good save by Keelan. All Lee's power behind that one. No offside given, although Butler was asking. Somerby. Bell. Lee! Foul given against Summerby. This is Jeff Butler. Booth's header. It's come for Livermore. And he was very unlucky then. Controlled it well with his right foot and hit it very hard with his left, and it went zinging away off the angle. Butler. Cross. Bell for Manchester City. Duncan Forbes penalised. Free kick to Manchester City. Barrett for Summerby. Barrett again. Good shot! Briggs. And that was a very bad ball, and here's Davis in. Terrible ball by Anderson. Nice little flick on by Livermore for Patton. Takes it back, gives it to Bone. And Bone almost found a way through there. He was obstructed by Jeffries. And with 3/4 of the game gone, Norwich are beginning, inch by inch, to begin to believe in themselves. They were almost blown away in the first half. Manchester City failed to turn their superiority into goals and could yet be made to pay for it. Patton on the ball, played for Stringer, who's hit it well! And that changes the whole complexion of this game. David Stringer, Norwich City's Player of the Year last season, with a very well-worked free-kick routine. Just the narrowest of gaps after Francis Lee had lined it up. Here it comes now, Stringer finding a way through that gap with a very good shot. And in fact, while we were looking at that replay, the linesman attracted the attention of the referee. Mr. James went over and had a word with him, and he has disallowed the goal, we think, for offside. Lee for Bell, and he's made something of it. Hit it too hard. Tried to drive it across the back of the box to Doyle, who is asking for a penalty for handball. Good header by Booth. Bell, and handball, it's in! Payne tried to touch it off, but Bell had scored after Booth had worried Keelan in the air. And so Norwich, within seconds of thinking they were on terms, are now 2 down. This is how it happened. Booth in the way, and in spite of that dive by Payne, which would have given away a penalty and would probably have got him booked, in fact the ball straight in the net, and it's 2-0, Bell the scorer. Bell. Doyle. This could be number 3. Too hard. Francis Lee picking it up, and Doyle still down on his back in the penalty area. Technically in an offside position, but hardly interfering with play. And the whistle has gone. City have already brought on their substitute. Play restarting with a free kick. Bell, and into Lee's path. That's a beauty. That was a superb goal.
And one of the best planned free kicks you'll ever wish to see, saying quite clearly that Manchester City are right back in form again.
Now, the third match on the big match today is the one between Manchester City and Burnley. Pictures from Granada TV. The commentator is Gerald Sinstadt. Burnley are in the dark shirts.
Doyle. Newton. This is Doug Collins. Ingham. James. Ingham again. And on very nicely for James. That's a better looking cross. And in comes Fletcher. And a pure reflex save by McRae, halting the best move of the game. Fine football by Burnley. A superb save by McRae. It's a long way out for Towers, and he goes for the lob. Aimed for Booth's head. The two number 5s there, Booth and Waldron. Through to Marsh. And he's got it again. And a cross for Bell. Pinpoint cross from Rodney Marsh and Colin Bell's header. But it was after this that the trouble started. Marsh allowed to win it back, and look what a perfect cross that was. And although Newton was on the line, he couldn't stop Bell's header from going in. Dobson 4, Collins 10. Waldron was coming round, but it didn't quite work. Lee kept it in. Went out off Noble, quite right. The linesman gives it. Foul by Lee on Dobson. Dobson stopped waiting for the whistle. Summerby. Good save by Stevenson. James to Ingham. James again, taking on Towers. Dobson to Collins. Nice drag back by James. Burnley trying to play it tight. Marsh. Lee calling for a quick ball, and he really should have had it then. Burnley now have 8 men between the ball and the goal. Pardo. Bell steps over it for Lee. Great save! Stevenson there got down with his left hand when Lee was shooting from 5 yards. Fletcher to Noble. Ingham. Well played Donachie. Getting it back from Lehman and going on well. Now City with a chance to raid in numbers. Bell out to Lee. This is fine attacking football by Manchester City. Lee into the penalty area. Lehman. Newton's header relieves the pressure at the expense of another corner. And the crowd show their appreciation of good football again. Good header by Doyle! The unexpected man in the penalty area. Mike Doyle coming in to meet this corner from Summerby. Everybody apparently marked, and then in comes Doyle, and the ball just in under the crossbar. Played to Lehman. Lee! Number 3. No, I think he's given offside. Suspect that came as something of a surprise to the linesman. Well, the free kick isn't being taken from where Lee was. Let's just see whether we can see anything. Turned on there. Maybe there was a foul there. Was Lee offside?
I think that was a good decision by the referee there, because I thought Rodney Marsh fouled one of the Burnley players.
Now it's time to welcome our viewers from Southern Television, and let's have some more action now. We come to the battle at the top of the First Division between Manchester City and Everton, and it looked to be a raw and really a miserable sort of match, to be honest. So we've just got a couple of snippets for you today. The match was covered by Granada. Commentator Gerald Sinstadt. Manchester City are in the white shorts.
Headed away by Booth. Stewart to Marsh. Stewart again. Summerby, Royal and Bell coming. Royal, down for Bell, Summerby, still Summerby. Bell, into the net! "17 minutes gone, and Everton never really got this under control. City were improvising, several players had a go, and it was Bell's left foot which finally put it past Adai Davis, who must have been unsighted. Bell's header. Dobson. Royal nodding it down for Stewart. And Stewart, a good shot! Yes! Well, Stewart had a go just now, which Davis only just grasped, but this one he made no mistake with. Nodded down for him by Royal, and a cracking right foot, which the goalkeeper again seemed to see late. Good hard cross headed away by Kenyon. Telfer. But City beginning to pick up all the loose balls in midfield. Horswell. Good ball it was too. Marsh surely will score. No, stopped by McNaught. Marsh took his time, thought he had ages of time to pick his spot, and McNaught had got back to cover for the keeper. Clements. Telfer. Doyle shutting him out. At the expense of a corner. Just about 5 minutes left now, as Everton have their 10th corner of the game. Evidence that they've built up pressure, but they haven't really been able to turn it into clear-cut, concrete chances. That was very nearly an own goal. In fact, it was, I think, by Horswell. Bad luck for Mick Horswell, having come on as substitute. turning the ball past his own goalkeeper. I think we'll confirm it as we look again at Telfer's corner. And yes, that was certainly Horswell and maybe Donachie as well.
But with Ipswich losing as well, Everton still stay in top place. Let's have some more flowing action now. What fine action it is as we swing over to the Midlands for the match between Wolves, who are having a dreadful season, and Manchester City, who in the last couple of months have really begun to pick up a bit of form. Stand by then as the pictures come from ATV. The commentator's Hugh Johns. Wolves are in the dark shorts.
Clements. Oh, that was a bad one as far as Barnes. That's really saw Wolves in trouble. Cole finally tidied it up, which was just as well. Mike Bailey. Kindon unmarked in the middle of the park. Away from Watson, couldn't keep it though. Oakes got it. Royal, Tuitt. Monroe takes it out. Steve Daly. This ball fairly flying from one end of the park to the other. Oh, and the shot coming for Kindon. Oh, what a cracker. What a save. Well, that Manchester City defence was caught in all kinds of trouble when the cross came over. Looked as though Hibbert was going to have a bang, but he couldn't. Kindon did, and that was a wonderful reflex action save from Corrigan. Hartford. Joe Royal winning it back for Manchester City. Hartford. Bailey won that well. Watson gets it clear again to Hartford. Oakes. Long for Barnes. This could be useful. Royal and Tuitt tanking up to get into the box. Taking on Maurice Bailey. Crikey, how did he swing that one across the face of the goals? For a moment it looked as though it was going behind, and there it was, right across the face of the goals. And what a bit of luck for Wolves that Manchester City didn't have anybody following up to knock that easy chance in. Tuitt. And that's Oakes. If I recall it wrong, it was Doyle. And handle off the line. And the penalty is given. So a chance now for Manchester City, greatly in many respects against the play, to go in front. That corner from Tuitt, smartly struck by Mike Doyle. Handle off the line. Dennis Tuitt's chance to score his 13th goal of the season. And hit the bar. And Hartford has scored it. Asa Hartford scores his 3rd goal of the season. It's 1-0 Manchester City. Well, what a dramatic series of incidents. The corner from Tuitt, the header from Doyle, the handling on the line, the penalty from Tuitt, hitting the crossbar, Hartford heading in the rebound, 1-0 Manchester City, 27 minutes gone. Tuitt now. It's a good cross, cut out by Bailey. Howard. Joe Royal. What a save from behind the line, was it? Royal Sorto. What a remarkable save that was. Joe Royal still can't believe it. Asking for the linesman to confirm.
That fantastic save from his header by Gary Pearce was hooked out from behind the line. Hartford. Tuart, Oakes, Donachie. That goal having put a lot of fresh heart into Manchester City. Tuart. Against Palmer. Good long cross, aiming for Joe Royle. Hartford. And Tuart is there. And that's the boy. Barnes has got his goal. Peter Barnes. His second goal of the season. 32 goals. 32 minutes gone. And it's 2-0 Manchester City. Well, there was an awful lot going on then. The cross ball from Tuart. Royle knocking it back. Hartford trying it. Wolves thought it was going out for a goal kick. Tuart knocks it back in again, and Peter Barnes is right on the end of it. Munro. It's Kindon. Watson at his back. Palmer's got a good run on here. Skidding across, and no Wolves boot to get on the end of it. Steve Daly against Power. Stuck to his job well. Farley. Well saved, Corrigan again. Oh, the man's on his own this afternoon. Looking for Joe Royle. Off Palmer for the corner. Barnes to take the corner. Peter Barnes. Doyle coming up near post. Tripped by the referee. Hartford to score. What an incredible goal. I have never seen anything like that in my life. Pearce absolutely thunderstruck. And the referee played a significant part in that. And he understands it. The corner comes swinging in. Referee tripped Doyle. Everybody thought that play would be stopped. Ball drops to Hartford. He kicks it in the back of the net. It's 3-0. And Power breaks out for Manchester City. Tuart tanking away to his right. That ball given too much. So McCall was always going to be the winner. Mike Bailey, Joe Royle behind him. And a break on for Tuart. But this be goal number 4. Yes, it is! Well, there you are. Wolves absolutely punished for a very stupid bit of defensive thoughtlessness. The goal, in fact, won by the challenge of Joe Royle. Dennis Tuart denied the penalty early on, or denied scoring the penalty early on, in fact gets his goal. Goal number 13 this season. And just 2 minutes left to play. A tragic scoreline for Wolves to face now. 4-0 down at home.
So the black clouds really settling over Molineux and Bill McGarry. Well, our second match today, and it's Tottenham's fight for survival as a First Division club. Though I must say their chances have been nothing more than slender these past couple of weeks. Yesterday they visited Manchester City, themselves, of course, still with a lingering hope or two of pipping Liverpool for the Championship. So here we go then, the battle between the top and the bottom. Manchester City against Spurs, pictures by Granada Television. Commentator Gerald Sinstadt, Spurs in the all-yellow strip.
And Osgood missed his kick. Royal has gone round him and pulled it back well for Barnes. And off Jennings' legs. And the Irishman knew very little about that. Joe Royal took full advantage of the stumble, hit the cross at once, and Peter Barnes turned it well, and Jennings was lucky. Pratt. Easy for Watson. Stewart. Hartford couldn't take it, it hit Perryman. Stewart to Barnes. Nice, precise pass. Barnes attacking Naylor. It's a corner. Peter Barnes has always shown the pace to trouble most fullbacks, and since he's come back into the side has shown also some of the aggression that Manchester City have asked of him. Swinging out towards Booth's head. 1-0! Couldn't ask for a better corner than that. Couldn't ask for a better header than the one with which Tommy Booth met it. But maybe Spurs could ask, where was the man who should have been going up with it? Hoddle's header, Pratt forward. Header by Watson. Coates. Pratt missed it altogether that time, but it's come through to Hoddle, and his flick was only just wide. Cross went over then. Pratt missed it altogether, and then there was a deflection into the path of Glenn Hoddle, and he almost turned that bit of luck into a goal. Stewart! What a beautifully taken goal. Peter Barnes did well, needed his courage to get the header, but he saw Stewart coming and put the ball perfectly in his path, and Dennis Stewart flashed it past Jennings for his 17th goal of the season. Coates. By Booth, away by Donachie to Barnes. Perryman, Owen, Donachie. Hartford finds Tommy Booth. Booth's pass knocked on by Owen, chased by Barnes. Now can he finish this one? Oh yes! Oh, what a beauty! Was so well done. Owen managed to help it on to Barnes, and Barnes that time kept his head, lost his man, and he sold Pat Jennings a dummy out of the record books, and then just chucked it over his head for a blissful goal. Barnes again, getting it back from Hartford. Donachie up the line ahead of him, Coates blocking the route to goal. Coates trips him, free kick to Manchester City. Barnes takes the free kick himself. Corner to Manchester City. Also about to make a substitution with Ian Moores warming up. Barnes. And Hartford! 4-0, and this is turning into a run. The corner came over, was headed firmly away, but straight to the right foot of Asa Hartford, and back it went before Jennings could move. Naylor. Jones again. Stopped by Watson. the referee is now tangled with Asa Hartford. All accidental, smiles all round. Well, restarting with a throw-in taken by Hoddle. Kidd. Owen. Ran away off his shins. Inside him, and Osgood in two minds. Kidd, 5-0. It was a bad back pass that let Tuart in, but then it always looked a likely goal as they set off from 10 yards inside the Spurs half. Tuart down the right, Kidd through the middle, and Osgood not certain which way to go. Kidd took the pass from Tuart and took his time, put it past Jennings without any trouble at all.
Well, of course, another shattering day for Tottenham, and they do seem to be almost certainly doomed to the second division now.
Oh, and Pearson put through by Greenhoff. Jones is after him. Pearson shot, goal!
Let's have some more action now, and for this we go to Main Road for what was rightly billed as the day's outstanding game. Manchester City wavering a little of late and needing a good result against Liverpool, second in the table and looking as formidable as ever. So watch now as the thrills come tumbling out. Gerald Sinstadt was the commentator at this game, lucky man, covered by Granada, and Liverpool are in the all-dark strip.
Hansen, Callaghan, Jones, Kennedy had to stretch but made it well. Highway pushed it a long way and he got the rebound from Doyle. Kennedy, Fairclough! Fairclough should have scored probably, and if he hadn't, I think Case might have. An angle ball into the box, opened up the City defence. Fairclough then changed the direction back too sharply. Case waiting behind him. Hansen. Doyle coming up quickly to collect. Power. Shannon. And Shannon letting go a shot. And a tremendously agile save from Ray Clements. Good play by the two England men there. Mike Shannon, a good run that beat three men, and a right foot shot that was heading for the corner, and down went Clements. Callaghan driving it now towards Dalglish. Watson just got to it, backpedaling. Kenny Clements, whose header found Joe Corrigan. That might have been a foul by Hansen, but there was no whistle. Hughes, nothing wrong with that header. Barnes, change of direction and he's away from Jones. Set for the left foot. Ray Clements got a hand to that, and that was all that stopped Peter Barnes from a very exciting goal. He got away from Joey Jones, took it on and made himself a very clear gap for the left foot shot, and again it was the agility of Clements that saved Liverpool. Fairclough, Doyle missed the header, but good work by Donachie. And a bad pass. Case set himself for the shot. Dalglish gets one away, and now Corrigan shows that he too can get down fast. Dalglish's shot going away from the big goalkeeper. Down went Corrigan and saved at the expense of a corner. Watson, Callaghan, Power again, Brian Kidd. Donachie. Case. Blocked by Kidd, who's getting through a tremendous lot of work. Hansen turning so calmly away from the challenge. Jones, Callaghan. Highway. Callaghan. Kennedy, good passing now by Liverpool. Fairclough to Dalglish. Dalglish through for Fairclough, and Fairclough puts it in. Now they're going to ask about offside there. The referee has given it, but I'm sure that City will want to know whether Fairclough was offside. Pass was very neatly stuck through by Dalglish, and Fairclough, who enjoys this ground, put it away with great economy. But was he offside? Watson misjudged it, and a little flick on by Fairclough for Dalglish, and he went round the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper did well. Dalglish trying to make too certain there after Fairclough had put him through, and Corrigan came out and just knocked it off his toe. Owen. Watson. Now can Watson produce a cross? Yes, he can. Hansen setting himself, Royal was there too, and Kidd was there, and Neil puts it out for the corner. Phil Neal it was who put it out of harm's way for Liverpool. And in it goes from Kidd! Barnes took the corner hard and low. Shannon got the flick, and Brian Kidd applied the finishing touch. Case. Through Barnes' legs. Fairclough lets it run for Dalglish. Hit the post, and Watson puts it out. Well, Kenny Dalglish has only scored once in his last 8 games, and there's been a shade too much deliberation sometimes. We saw him let one slip away earlier on in this half. That time he had a quick stab and was mortified when it came back off the post. Neil. Donachie. Case. Watson. Watson putting a beautiful ball through for Shannon, and Shannon to shoot and score! That was a glorious ball by Dave Watson, who's been winning it so resolutely. Passing there so perceptibly, and Shannon galloped onto it and gobbled it up. Highway. Plenty of men forward, among them Emlyn Hughes for Liverpool. Callaghan taking up Hughes' role in the back four while the skipper goes forward. Neil, lucky to get it. The shot then hit Hughes. And now here's Barnes if he can control this. Hansen going with him. Barnes off on one of those runs that electrifies the Main Road fans. Now Royal going on with the advantage and scoring! Emlyn Hughes' excursion upfield had Liverpool disorganised at the back, and the long clearance to Barnes led him away, and although he was fouled, there was good application of the advantage law, and Royal went on to take full advantage of it. Now Doyle, offside. No, says the referee, and Doyle goes on. And he's been tackled by Clements. Will that go in? Clements is after it, it's gone past. And Mike Doyle is beaten by 3 or 4 inches. Now, my feeling was that there was somebody else offside when Doyle played it forward, but he did the right thing to keep going. Clements came out to him, Doyle got it past the tackle, and then it ran agonisingly on, inches wide of the post.
One of the best games of the season so far, if not the best. Let's make a start down at sunny Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea now have a new one-man travelling show called Duncan McKenzie. And here is Duncan McKenzie, his first home game for Chelsea after skillful and spectacular stops along the way at places like Nottingham Forest, Leeds, Anderlecht of Belgium, Everton, and now Chelsea. A colourful character who's given a lift to the fans wherever he's been, and is now in this unchanged Chelsea side. Is the one that lost 3-2 at Coventry last week, where McKenzie himself scored. The defence still without Mickey Droy, who is still unwell, and it's a team that's won only once this season. Indeed, this Manchester City side has only one league win to its credit, a 3-0 victory against Leeds last week, and they now come without Roger Palmer, who scored twice that day, and without Brian Kidd, still recovering from a broken toe, and without fullback Kenny Clements, also injured. But as you can see, they are still a side with an immense amount of talent to it, and it includes one of their recent buys, Colin Viljoen, for so long a key player at Ipswich, but also for a long time kept out of the game by injury. It's good to see him fit again. Now McKenzie. A little spurt of acceleration that gave him a chance to pass here now this way. Back it comes again to McKenzie. Jink inside, a delicate little cross, and a header by Gary Stanley that really should have gone in. And that would have been a brilliant opening thrust in his first match at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea for Duncan McKenzie. Beautiful skill, turning his man, a delicate cross, had City in trouble. Stanley was beautifully placed, and the header was really not what was required. Watson. Barnes losing touch there. They've pushed him onto that far touchline against Ron Harris. Onside, Mike Shannon. Only a fraction, but he was. Is it the opening goal? It is. And Shannon has scored it for Manchester City. Well, a blow there for Chelsea. The little chip that the timed run by Shannon was perfect, just onside. And he tucked it wide of Bonetti into the corner of the net. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. Viljoen, Hartford, Ron Futcher to Mike Shannon. Taking the ball to Harris. Donachie playing it inside for Hartford. Little gap there appeared for Asa Hartford. And the cross, had to be turned away though by Bonetti. I think they were expecting a cross to come back a little bit. It may just have clipped somebody and changed direction, and Bonetti had to do a little bit of work on it.
Shannon looking very lively indeed. Scorer of the City goal, leading 1-0, finding Ron Futcher. Hartford coming in quickly. Hartford took that well, controlled it well. Oh, and he hit the post with it. Well, they tore Chelsea apart there. Shannon in the first place, and Futcher's pass, which in fact wasn't a particularly good one for Asa Hartford, but he controlled it brilliantly, and the shot wide of Bonetti against that post. Donachie, that's a nice little ball played in there by Donachie, and Futcher very nearly got in there. Ron Futcher. Instead, Chelsea get it away with Wilkins. Played now for Locke. Here's Swain. Ball played nicely in there for Wilkins, but McKenzie. Now Stanley. Ron Harris. My word, it was into the side netting, and half the crowd here at Stamford Bridge thought it was in the back of the net. My word, what a rifling shot there from Harris. You don't really expect that from him, but he produced the goods there with a really tremendous shot. Sadly for Chelsea, a yard or so wide. Shannon, a nice header now for Futcher, and the second goal for Manchester City. And again, Chelsea caught out badly in defence. And really, that was the old 1-2. Shannon's delightful touch. Beautifully into the path of Ron Futcher, absolutely clear. And blasting in past Bonetti for the second goal. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 2. Ron Futcher, that second goal, made for him by Mick Shannon, who'd scored the first. Wilkins. Calling Langley towards him, and just look how Paul Futcher was right there with him as well, and that Chelsea move is broken up with amazing ease. Shannon, Hartford, what a lovely move again to Ron Futcher, and that's number 3. What a beautiful City move, and Chelsea were destroyed by that. 44 minutes gone, Chelsea 3 down. Delightful interplay there with Hartford and Shannon involved, leaving in the end Ron Futcher absolutely in the clear, and between Bonetti and the post for goal number 3. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 3. Phil Jern taking up a good position again. Harris getting it away. And Gary Stanley, the long ball for Tommy Langley, onside. Now has he got the pace and the strength to get away from Watson? He has, but the shot was high into that side netting, as you saw. But he's a good man to have around. He's always active, always prepared to chase. To Ron Futcher, it very nearly came for Paul Futcher again, and Ray Wilkins with a chance to bring it away for Chelsea. A little touch for Langley. Played wide this time for McKenzie, a bit of space for him. Now, can he take on Donachie? Who else can he take on? Well, he's got it to Lewington. Now Swain, maybe a chance here for Chelsea all the way, and again, for the third time in this game, the ball was whacked into that side netting, and half the crowd here have thought that it was in the goal. A wriggling piece of play there by Swain. Again, the shot into the side netting. Barnes with the kick. A deeper one this time. Bonetti, oh, it was a little too high for him. Hartford turning it back in again. A hat-trick for Ron Futcher. That's his third and City's fourth. Well, 4 times Peter Bonetti's beaten. It's the end of the road for him at the end of this season. retiring, and this will be one of the nightmares, I would think, as Hartford dinked that ball in again. Futcher well placed to get down and hit it in. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 4. Hartford again. What about that for a ball? Beautiful ball played inside the ball back for Peter Barnes, and here's Futcher. Oh my goodness! Well, he scored 3, and he had maybe the best chance of all, and that would have been a really superb team goal. Hartford's lovely pass inside the fullback. A great piece of running by Peter Barnes. The good cross, good positioning also by Ron Futcher. But alas for him, a shot that went over that Chelsea crossbar. In for Mackenzie. Straight through for Corrigan. Bad ball by Peter Barnes. He's given that ball away 2 or 3 times in the last 5 minutes alone. Lock. From Swain, and again a good piece of shadowing by Paul Futcher. Now, Stanley whacked that one in. Oh! Well, that goes down as a save because it's given as a corner. That was a great shot there by Gary Stanley, but also the big man Joe Corrigan got down so swiftly again. Swain for Chelsea. And a header! It's into the net. No. Yes, it crossed the line, and Gary Stanley will be credited with that one. Barely crossed the line before it was hooked out. But there aren't many free headers that are allowed to by the Manchester City defence, but Gary Stanley got one there, just wide of the diving Corrigan, against the post and fractionally over the line. Least to bring a modicum of respectability for Chelsea here today. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 4, with a quarter of an hour to go.
What an amazing afternoon, with Manchester City then winning almost as they pleased, and with 2 England players, Ray Wilkins and Peter Barnes, both taken off, with the England match against Denmark coming up on Wednesday, and with the England manager Ron Greenwood in the stand. It was an afternoon, though, that swung in one crucial moment or two early in the game when Duncan Mackenzie was on the ball here for Chelsea. Made a good run here and a nice simple pass here to Ken Swain, and Mackenzie, carrying on with his run, now takes on Gary Owen and gives himself a yard to swing in a really delicate cross there, and I think Gary Stanley here would be the very first to admit that that should have been a goal. And had it been a goal and Chelsea gone 1 up, well, who knows. But within a matter of minutes there was trouble for Chelsea at the other end. But was this opening City goal offside? Not absolutely clear here, as the ball is played from Asa Hartford through to Colin Viljoen. But Viljoen now sets that ball up, and as we stop it there, Shannon is level with the last defender. There he is in the centre in the white shirt, and I think if you'll give him credit for having started when that ball was played, it's almost certain that he was fractionally onside, and a good decision by the linesman. And certainly Mick finished it off well to put Manchester City into the lead. But from that moment onwards, the day just got worse for Chelsea. But what about that substitution of Ray Wilkins? It really is something that's almost unthinkable at Chelsea, and yet it happened on a day when hardly anybody in the Chelsea side did themselves justice. And I asked Ray Wilkins about the substitution.
Were you injured?
I wasn't injured, no. Obviously, the manager thought I wasn't, doing well enough for the side, so he's brought me off.
How did you feel about that, though, Ray?
Naturally, I was very, very disappointed, but then again, it's the manager's decision.
Were you surprised to see the number 8 card up there saying you've got to come off?
Not really, no. Anybody could have been brought off because we weren't playing that well individually as well as collectively. So I don't think I was surprised. I'm beginning to believe what Tommy Docherty said, I think.
What, that you can't tackle,
right.
You can't head, but you can pass.
In fine sides.
As for the substitution of Peter Barnes, the Manchester City manager Tony Book said, "I just wanted to give Tony Henry a run." But it was a great day for Manchester City, no denying that, for whom Asa Hartford was the man of the match, but where Ron Fucher scored a hat-trick. So a match ball there, autographed in the centre, I see, by his brother Paul Fucher. But it wasn't all glory all the way, because you got that nasty eye injury as well, Ron. What exactly happened there?
I was going for a high ball by Joe Corrigan. I mean, me and Steve Wicks just jumped for it and he accidentally caught me underneath the eye with an elbow.
Yes. And stitches?
3, yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Fine. But it won't stop you playing for another week, obviously.
No.
Going to be fit again. The hat-trick was a very satisfying one. Your first goals for Manchester City, I think.
Yeah, I played 2 games against Grimsby and Norwich, and I wasn't too happy with them. And I got left out against Leeds last week. He brought me back this week, 1 or 2 injuries, and you know, I got 3, so I'm delighted.
What was it that satisfied you most? Which of them satisfied you most?
All of them satisfied me most, but first one I was quite pleased with, you know.
Yes, yes, you took that well. But the header was good, the third one also. That was...
Yeah, it was a bit of a bad ball by Ace, I thought. You know, it's a bit low.
Yes.
My head kicked off there, but, you know.
Because he had an exceptional game today for Manchester City, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been playing great, Ace, yeah.
Yes. What did you feel about Manchester City's performance as a whole?
I thought we played really well, you know. I thought we dominated the game, really. After the first goal by Mick Channing, yes. I thought, you know, we dominated the game.
Our last match today takes us back to the First Division for Manchester City, who've not won a First Division match since December the 15th, against Bolton Wanderers, who are practically certain now to be relegated. Indeed, it's a real relegation scrap at Main Road, covered by Granada Television, with Gerald Sinstad as the commentator and Manchester City in the slightly darker shirts.
Novak tackled. Cantello. Wilson. And lost by Clement. Palmer. Daly has got away. Palmer calling for it back. Bad clearance out. Powers still waiting. Powers cross. Jewett. And a goal from Jewett. Dennis Jewett celebrates his return to Main Road with his first goal in his second spell with Manchester City. Power knocks the cross deep. Jewett gets a foot to it, and McDonough seems to be mispositioned. Bolton finding it very difficult to work the ball out of their own half for the last quarter of an hour or so, but here are possibilities through Carter, with Novak in the middle offside. No! And the ball just wide, with the linesman's flag staying down. Carter made the break. Novak was in position, but couldn't apply the finish. Really wondered there whether Novak had got too far ahead, but there was no flag from the linesman. Corrigan's rush out did enough to put Novak off. Daly. Too high for Palmer to have much chance, really. And Jones out of the penalty area, straight to Nicky Reed. Nicky Reed again. And here's Jewett for his second of the game. Marking all went wrong, and it was simply a matter of whether Jewett could control it and turn it in. And turn it in he did. City worked it a couple of times out on the left, and when the cross was not long, Jewett was free to score his second of the game. Cigar will taste very good for Malcolm Addison with a 2-goal lead, 2 minutes into the second half. Clement. Novak ready to make a run through the middle, but nobody aware. It was a foul by Nicky Reed. Cantello. It's an easy header out for Caton. Peter Reid will try and set something going again for Bolton. Novak and Reid had gone to support him, and that made the gap for Novak. Carter. Carter very confident and very clever on the ball. Good cross. What a beautiful goal that was from Watmore. And how much of the credit goes to Carter. Sort of skill that Bolton fans used to love from Frank Worthington, and Watmore getting low for a very good goal to capitalise on Carter's skill. Some really superb tight skills here from Carter. He's gone past 3, and that's the 4th, and how beautifully judged that cross was, and a brave diving header finishes it off. Daly is there, Tuart is behind Daly. Daly can get it across himself. Walsh heads out, still not very far. Bolton not really getting this ball clear when they have the chance, and it's very muddled and scrambly in there. Really could go anywhere. Caton will have a try. It was deflected. McDonough saved well, and saved well at the second attempt from Palmer. Tommy Caton let go a very good drive. Palmer had a go at the rebound, but McDonough was equal to them both. But there was some very muddled defence there, which gave Caton his chance. I think there may have been a deflection. McDonough saved well once and well again. And now Cantello to drive one well, and what a very good save from Joe Corrigan. Cantello hit that extremely well. It was hard and it was accurate. That's a very good shot from Cantello, and what a good save it was too from Corrigan. Novak fouled, and it's a free kick. Well, Bolton have to hurry. There are not going to be many more chances, and Corrigan found a very good punch to deal with that one. Nicholson fouled, free kick to Bolton. The Bolton fans now just trying to lift their team for one last heave. Played nearly a minute over the 45. Boo the good header out. Nicholson turning it wide. Corrigan appealing for offside, which is not given. Now they ask for handball, and it's been given against Ranson. It's a penalty. Ranson clearly thought he'd got that on his chest. Now, what happens here? Oh, that was handball, all right. No doubt whatsoever. So, a minute and a half over the 45. A chance for Bolton Wanderers to salvage a point. Peter Reid, 2-2. Reid gets the goal. The Bolton fans are on their feet, and Bolton have stolen a point. Well taken penalty, no chance for Joe Corrigan.
Well, what a dramatic finish there, and Manchester City dropping a point, though of course it is important to keep picking up even single points when you're in trouble as they are. But as you can see, there's still a 4-point gap between them and Derby County for that last relegation place, and remembering of course now that there are only 7 games to go for those directly involved.
let's start with the action from Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace came to this game against Manchester City, one off the bottom of the table and in a desperate need of a positive result. City, meanwhile, had started to climb away from trouble, and one man has had a lot to do with that.
Well, the morning snow has cleared here, and bright periods have certainly been in evidence in Manchester these past few weeks, City having a really excellent run since the arrival of John Bond as manager. John, I wonder if you can tell us in one line, basically, how things have changed for you at Main Road.
Well, I suppose in one line, Brian, we've started winning, and that's the main thing. There's a little bit of confidence come back into the players and been instilled into them simply because we have won, and the thing has been taken on from there.
Now, can you just go through your side and tell us what to look for today?
Well, I'm hoping that Kevin Reeves and Dave Bennett will do their jobs today, such as they did last week against Coventry, where they showed tremendously well the whole time and made themselves available for our midfield men to get forward and support them as quickly as we possibly can, and to hit our front men as early and as quickly, and then take the game from there as early as possible.
So Bennett and Reeves are the key men for you?
Well, in many, many ways. I think all good sides need good front people and people who will make themselves available all the time, and I think that's what we've got now.
Good. Well, in the crowd today, Malcolm Allison, the man who used to pick the Manchester City side before John Bond's arrival, and of course Big Mal was also manager here at Crystal Palace as well. Well, this is the Palace side that Palace manager Ernie Whalley has chosen today. No Peter Nicholas at number 4. He's got an ankle injury in Jim Cannon's testimonial match on Tuesday. Cannon himself moves to 2. Paul Hinshelwood wears the 4 shirt, and the central defender is likely to be Terry Boyle with Billy Gilbert. The referee today, it's Tony Glasson from Salisbury. And quite a showbiz flavour about the director's box today. In the centre, Ronnie Corbett, an avid Crystal Palace fan. And Eddie Large is here as well, and he's just as avid about Manchester City. So away we go then. Manchester City attacking the goal to our left in a change strip of red and black stripes. Crystal Palace in the white strip. And straight away, Steve McKenzie with a rifling shot and a chance for them to put him ahead, and they've scored through Kevin Reeves in 13 seconds. What a blow for Crystal Palace. What an amazing start there for Manchester City. And John Bond's words at the start about Kevin Reeves and Dave Bennett being the key man. Well, Kevin Reeves has put Manchester City ahead in 13 seconds. Tremendous break there. Steve McKenzie, who used to be a Crystal Palace player, left here when he was 17 for £250,000 without playing in the first team. The ball bounces off Paul Barron, and there's the job for Kevin Reeves to put City 1 goal into the lead. Reeves. McKenzie presented it to him by Billy Gilbert. Power holding off Hilaire. Here's Bennett. Played wide there towards Kevin Reeves, and a very good piece of goalkeeping by Barron. That could so easily have been number 2. It's a corner instead. Good play here by Bennett, picking out Reeves like this. Reeves hit it on the volley, and somehow Barron kept it out. So the corner by Hutchison. Flicked on there towards McKenzie. Dave Bennett. Ranson with the cross. Kevin Reeves with a header. And Gow coming in. Well, I certainly had the impression there was a handball along the way there. But Jerry Gow, the referee looked at the linesman, and Jerry Gow's goal will stand. Ball coming in here, flicked on by Kevin Reeves. There may have been a handball there, but obviously there wasn't, and Gow finished it off to put Manchester City 2 into the lead. And here's Hutchison again with the corner, floated in there towards Tommy Booth, and McDonald, a free header, straight into the arms of Paul Barron. And again, a question mark against Palace defensive marking. A free header from a fullback coming in there and saved by the keeper. So a wintry scene that really is the case really as far as Crystal Palace are concerned after that disastrous first half where they find themselves 2 down.
So it's Palace who get us away. They've scored only 6 goals in their last 7 games. They've a real job to do now. John Bond, I suppose, at half-time. We'll just watch this Palace move. You must have said, well, let's have a cup of tea and have some more of the same in the second half.
Well, that's all I want them to do, Brian, in fairness. I mean, if they play the way they did the second half, the way they played the first half, all second half, I'll be well pleased. I thought they were absolutely magnificent, and we could have had 4 or 5 goals.
Kevin Reeves looking, as you were saying, so really sharp again.
Oh, yes, he looked exceptionally good in the first half, and providing he can keep this going, we've got a real chance.
And you've only had 1 away win, I think, this season, haven't you?
Well, I've only been there 6 weeks, Brian.
Yes. It's looking better already.
Well, it looks not bad at the moment if we can keep it going, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed. John, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
But here comes City again, then. Cannon nodding it here for Hinshelwood, letting it run. And a bit of space over on this left-hand side for Mike Flanagan. That's a good ball there by Flanagan, and Walsh right in there. Well, a better connection then, and I don't think you'd have seen a better goal anywhere. Well, that was a lovely piece of control by Mick Flanagan, and a superb ball played in there over the City back 4. And Walsh caught it first time. Unfortunately for him, it was on the half volley going on. Ray Ransom. Kevin Reeves. A little flick in there. And again, Palace get it away. Cannon. Seeley. Tight marking indeed there, but too tight by Reed. Seeley, they've got a few white shirts forward now. Hinshelwood right in there, Seeley in there too. Played there for Walsh. A beautiful goal! Well, Tony Seeley played a really big part in that, but it was a thunderous finish though in the end by Ian Walsh. Played forward here by Paul Hinshelwood. Just look at Seeley's part, a really well-timed run there. Just played on there for Ian Walsh, lashing it past Joe Corrigan. Maybe Palace are getting themselves back into the game. They've had a much better second half, and now it stands at 2-1. Ernie Whalley down on the bench just before that goal was scored, in fact doing an awful lot of arm waving, pushing people forward. Seeley playing it there for Cannon, and again for Jim Cannon, the Palace skipper. This cross coming in for Seeley. Oh, a terrific goal by Tony Seeley, 2-2. And that's what you call a comeback. No doubt the difference that Tony Seeley has made since he came on as sub. And what a good run there, combining with Jim Cannon. Cannon plays a superb ball in here, and Seeley hits it first time, no chance for Corrigan. It's a real up-and-down game. Here comes City again. Mackenzie finding Hutchison, who's told Reeves to get on ahead of him. Still with Tommy Hutchison. His man well. And found Bennett. And now with Gow. Goal! Paul Barron distressed there because Gow's shot rifled underneath him, and he could only have seen that very, very late. Hutchison, who played such a big part in it, twisting and turning. Bennett, who then was able to get it back to Gow, and look at no chance for the keeper there. He saw it so very late.
And indeed, it was a result that immediately makes 2 things clearer at the bottom end of the table. Palace kept off the bottom place because Leicester lost at home to Norwich City. But the crucial result for them was the victory by Leeds over Brighton, which now opens up a 6-point gap between them and the team 4 off the bottom, Leeds. And the other point, of course, is that Manchester City are now on 17 points and 5 clear of the last relegation place. And I wonder if Palace may have looked today at what a big name with a lot of First Division experience can do for a club. Because under Bond, City have taken 13 points out of 18, and he's learning more about the team all the time. What came out of today's match?
the lack of professionalism when you're in front and you need to do the right things and put the balls in the right areas and make the other team suffer because you are 2 up. Little things, you know, playing the right balls and the percentage balls in those particular times, and we didn't do that as well as we ought to. We were so negative and so lackadaisical and unprofessional when we were 2-0 up. It was unbelievable. I just said to the chairman, I said, we'll be in trouble here if we don't watch out. And bang, they'd got one, and once they'd got one, they'd got the bit between their teeth, and then there was only one team going to get anything out of it, and that was them. But credit the lads, they picked themselves up again, didn't they? In the last 10 minutes, we were the only team, I suppose, again, who were going to win it.
Well, as you saw, a spectator at Selhurst Park today was Malcolm Allison, the man who bought Steve Daly for £1.5 million. Big Mal, as you know, was manager both of Crystal Palace and Manchester City. For the time being, he's out of the game without a job. Was there any significance in him being there today?
No, it's the first match I've seen since Queen's Park Rangers played Wrexham. It was about 5 weeks ago. And some friends of mine were coming down. They said, would you like to come? So I thought, well, I'm feeling a lot better now. And so I thought I'd come and see the match. And,
Tell me what you mean by feeling a lot better now.
Well, I was very depressed for 4 or 5 weeks. And I didn't want to see football. I wasn't... I felt embarrassed by the whole thing. But I'm over that, I think, and I've got to start looking for some work.
Do you want to be a manager again?
Yes, I'd like to be in football again. I've spoken to Aztecs in America.
That's Los Angeles?
Yes. Yeah. And I've spoken to 2 or 3 people in football who've said, would I like to come and do some work with them? I'm not sure that I want to do that. But I feel now that I'd like to come back in football, yes.
Yes. I think people, when they look at you now, they say, I'm afraid Malcolm may have blown it as a manager. Do you think there is a possibility of that?
Well, it's amazing game, football. You know, all of a sudden, John Bond's a genius. He bought 3 players and made Manchester City play. I wonder why he never could do it before, in the previous 12 years of management. So it's a strange business. But I feel that I've got something to offer the game, and I hope to be back in it.
Yes, mind you, he had some success with Norwich, didn't he? In fairness to John Bond.
What success?
Well, I mean, he got them to League Cup finals and
one League Cup final.
Yeah, but I mean, and they are a provincial side, and he got them in the first division.
That's nonsense. Notts Forest, Derby County, Southampton, Ipswich. Nonsense.
And he's made a good start at Main Road.
Tremendous start. Tremendous start. And I hope they go on and on. Yes. And I hope they beat West Brom on Wednesday.
Yes. Well, he's one of the game's characters, and I hope he gets back into the game pretty soon. Malcolm Allison. Well, our last game tonight, it's Manchester City against Southampton from Main Road. The pictures are from Granada Television. Our commentator's Martin Tyler. Here are Manchester City in the light blue strip.
City so often play their first-time football very quickly. When it works, it's very effective. And Shilton in trouble. Surely a goal here for Reeves. Yes! Reeves has been waiting a long time for a gift like that. And Peter Shilton in a breakdown in communications with Mark Wright here. Shilton had come out of the area and Wright played it with his head. The goalkeeper stranded, Reeves ran on and rolled it into the empty net. Now cross for Hartford. Short again. On a wide front. He was looking for power. It did find him via the deflection. McDonald's trying to accelerate past Steve Baker, who caught him. And the penalty is given. Surely there couldn't be any doubt. It was just that the referee didn't indicate clearly. But Bobby McDonald accelerating past Steve Baker. A tap of the ankle just inside the area. Penalty for Manchester City. Manchester City's first penalty of the season. And Shilton saves. And didn't buy the little dummy that bombed through. Baker. It's not away yet for Southampton. Power. Armstrong getting in the way of the shot. And Moran chases forward. Armstrong. And finally Corrigan claims it from Wallace. And a chance again to admire the save from Peter Shilton, who went the right way and saved from Kevin Bond. Corrigan getting plenty of length into the clearance, but here's Steve Williams. And look at the space allowed for Steve Moran. Wallace going to the near post. And what a good header too. Southampton almost drawing a reward for good work off the ball. First of all by Steve Moran, who took up an intelligent wide position, and Wallace covered a lot of ground to meet the cross with a header that was just wide. McDonald. Reeves ahead of right. Chewett joining Cross in the middle. Chewett! And Power! Certainly the best chance City have created in the second half. Chewett knocking it back when he might have gone for goal, and Power stabbing it a yard or so wide. Now McDonald. Riding Williams' challenge, and the referee this time not playing the advantage, which in the end suited Manchester City, because Tunnell's attempted cross went straight to the goalkeeper. Hartford takes it quickly, Reeves reacts quickly. Corner off right. City still looking to put this game beyond Southampton's reach. They certainly haven't done that yet. And it's Hartford with the corner. Bond. McDonald. They may have done it now. City score yet again from the corner. Bond flicking it on. Bobby McDonald, who scored against Southampton last season at the Dell, makes it 2-0 here. It's a ricochet, and Castles is hurt. The corner has been given. Castles back on his feet. Williams again offering himself for the short corner, and Wright got there before Corrigan. Nicol with the goalkeeper stranded off the line by Dennis Chewett. Chewett on that post there, the number 7, and sensibly keeping his position after Corrigan had failed to make contact with the punch. Chris Nicol planted it back, and Dennis Chewett got it off the line. Williams waiting for Rofe. He's got Armstrong even further wide. Wallace, it was a spring heel jump. Puckett trying to force it in. Now, was that handball on the line by Bond? There was an appeal. Wallace against the bar. Well, Southampton have been out of luck here. David Puckett with a shot here that was blocked by Kevin Bond's shoulder on the line. Southampton felt they should have had a penalty there, and then Wallace went on unabashed and struck the bar. Reeves showing again, as he has done throughout the game, to good effect. Power, they've left Hartford. Now Graham Baker. Chewett, who spent so much of the game in a wide position, but a pass for Hartford. Well, with Shilton committed, he only had to be on target. Stewart cutting in to good effect. Combining, as he does so often with Asa Hartford, but the finish was lacking. Now Reeves getting behind Rofe. Only cross in the middle, joined now by Baker. This is Stewart, and Baker, and cross! Well, it might have been cruel on Southampton, but it should have been a 3-goal margin of victory. Graham Baker's touch here was really perfectly executed. And David Cross, assessing it, smashed it wide.
A 2-0 victory that puts Manchester City second in the table now, behind Liverpool, who had that remarkable 5-0 win at Everton. Next come West Ham and Manchester United, in spite of their defeats. Just look at Nottingham Forest up there in 5th place, followed by Watford after their 1-0 win at Tottenham. So Manchester City second, and nobody was happier to see them there today than 18-year-old Yvonne Brown from Cheshire. And seeing them is the operative phrase, because Yvonne had been blind from birth until 3 weeks ago. But all that time, she'd been a fanatical Manchester City supporter. She explains what happened after the match to Dennis Law.
I was in my room on the 20th of October. I had a bit of an argument with my boyfriend, and he said he was going to finish it, and I got rather upset about it. And then he went out of the room, and about an hour later, before that I was seeing colours, and an hour later I got my eyesight back. And now it's about partially sighted, I think.
What, seeing colours for the first time?
I could tell a few colours before, but all the room lit up. I could see my music centre, my telly, my Man City pictures, everything about me.
And before, did you listen to the games? Now you actually saw and met the players before the game. What do you think?
Oh, it's brilliant. I went in the changing rooms before and saw the players, most of them, and I think I'm meeting them again after.
And what about the game itself?
Oh, it was a good game. I saw most of it. It's really good.
Enjoyed it?
Yes, thanks.
Did you meet anybody after the game?
Well, Joe Coggan, as he ran past me, flung his arms around me, and I saw the players go off.
What difference has this made to your life now?
Well, I'm really pleased about it, and it's been a great day today.
And now she'll be just as happy to see them win, lose or draw.